Hey, what's up? I'm Cairo.
Yo, what's good? It's Genius. You
And you
know
know
I
I
got
got
soul.
soul.
Obviously, I want to really focus on the EP, but we gotta start from a little bit from the beginning since you're new to the platform. So I really want to talk about what inspired you guys to first start, singing and producing. In particular, what artists um got you guys to want to be a singer and you, Genius, to be a producer. So, Cairo, if you want to go
Yeah,
first.
word.
To make a long story short, bro, I kind of grew up around it. So like my parents immigrated here from Iraq. My dad was in a band.
Mm.
So from his side, he did mostly covers. So I like heard Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Donny Hathaway, Earth, Wind and Fire, James Brown, like all that kind of like 70s stuff.
Mm.
And then from my mom's side, my aunties and my cousins and stuff, like they love like Jagged Edge, 112, Donald Jones, Boys to Men. Mob loves like Tupac. So I
Wow.
like kind of grew up around just music in general. Had like an uncle that was kind of famous Arabic singer. His son was kind of popping as an R&B singer in Sydney. My sister sings. I had a cousin that sang. So like I kind of just grew up around it.
That's crazy. Genius, how about you?
Shit, man. I just like randomly started making beats when I was in high school,
Yeah.
and yeah, just didn't stop. That's pretty much it, bro. I didn't have any like musical sort of like background or anything like that. It was just like I was just making beats instead of playing games.
Wow, that's funny. So let's dive into how you two met then, because from what I can tell, it was like 2014-ish, right?
Yeah,
But
maybe a bit before that, to be honest.
okay, so a little bit before. But were you guys doing your solo thing and then you happened to just link up one day? Like, tell me that story, how you guys got started.
Basically, so like I grew up around singers. I was producing in high school as well. So like I just wanted to be a producer to start off with. And then outside of high school, I was still producing. I was DJing as well. I also had a radio show. Um, then a
Mm,
couple years into that, I kind of got sick of it and I like built the courage up to, be an artist. I started working on my own project and like halfway through that project, I kind of met Jordan randomly through a friend. It was just like some SoundCloud shit. And then yeah, he came through halfway through it and like kind of took over the production of it and kind of let me, concentrate on the singing and the writing aspect of everything. And that's kind of like we just started working then and haven't stopped since.
yeah, no, I could tell like this organic like flow you guys have is crazy. Because I've listened since Twisted, I think, in like 2018 off that first EP. It's like when I
Yeah.
first heard you guys, yeah. But I didn't put the face to the song. I just heard it. I was like, yo, this is fire. SoundCloud, like you said, kind of just during that time that was popular.
Yeah.
But when you guys really jumped out like on social media to me, this is where I came across you guys personally, was the sequel, the second EP you guys dropped. So another, Confessions was another standout song for me personally. But I want to know what's this 2 year gap between Confessions and now this new project. Like, tell me what got you to this new project. I noticed it's released on Red Bull Records. Like, just tell me like this whole journey from those two projects.
Do you want to take this one, Jordan?
Yeah. I guess like the main thing was like just figuring out how we were gonna release and just like working through a bunch of songs and figuring out the sort of release and like how we were gonna do it with the label for the first time and shit like that. So it was kind of just like a big process of like making heaps of songs, cutting them down, getting fucking features and shit sorted,
Mm.
and yeah, eventually just like getting to this point.
I think I came across the article you guys mentioned that, yeah, like I don't know what the exact number, but you had a whole lot of songs. So you were just making these songs during that time, I assume. So what made you decide to cut it down to this small like amount of songs? Was there a
Yeah,
certain motive
I
behind that?
think we had like 30 or 40 songs, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of, so the next project's going to be the album. So we wanted to hit them with like one more EP. And 7 just felt right to us. So like, yeah, just the 7 that made the cut, I guess.
That's what I was gonna actually bring that up because I feel like the title is actually kind of self-explanatory. Like, come on in, like this is, we're getting ready to drop something. So let's just jump into the
Yeah,
making. Let's jump into the making of it. I gotta say off the bat, we already know where the inspiration is coming from, 90s, 2000s. But I'm really interested what you guys were listening to during the time of making it. A lot of my favorite artists are saying, "Oh, I was listening to Brandy, listening to whoever." Like, who were you guys listening to that really like got that sound ingrained in your whole essence of the album? You know what I mean?
I feel like for this particular project, we kind of dive more into like the mid to like early 2000s, like say 2000 to like 2005. The previous 2 projects were more like not heavily 90s influence, I feel. Yeah, for this one in particular, like for me, I was listening to like the first 2 Tank albums. I was listening to like old Tyrese albums, Marcus Houston, bunch of like Jagged Edge. Um, yeah, kind of heavily 2002 to 2005 R&B.
Jordan, how about you?
it was. I felt like it was different for every song, kind of thing for me.
Mm,
Like in terms of where I like just like the feel in terms of where I wanted to take it. Like, um, yeah, like Daniel said, like Marcus Houston. There was a few joints, a lot of Jermaine Dupri production. Um, shit, always Timbaland as well because he's the goat. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think of like every song. Like every song kind of had like a few like specific like
Reference.
references
references.
or like just like feels that I wanted to sort of like get. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, and then just like just figure out how to like combine that feel.
Yeah, a lot of
that's
them, if you
actually
go through the individual tracks, like some of them are pretty obvious as well. You know what I mean?
yeah. For example, the
Where we
first
drew
track
our
is
inspiration
definitely.
from.
Is that what happened?
Just where we drew our inspiration from.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I was gonna say like the first track is like Timbaland production straight out. You know what I mean? From the little from the ad libs, just to the whole feel. So that's kind of leading me to this next question. Like, how do you guys come up with these songs? Like, what's your process? You know what I mean? Like, does the beat come first? Does your writing come first? Does it depend on the song? I'm curious to how you guys have this nice little this flow going.
Most of the time it's like I've written the song and cut it to like a loop or something basic, and then take it to Jordan, and like we kind of build the production around whatever's been written. And then
Mm,
again, whatever I'm drawing the inspiration from, or he's drawing the inspiration from, like beat wise, like yeah, we kind of like encapsulate ourselves in that feeling.
got you, got you. And Jordan, I want to bring it to this question. It's a little later on my
Mm.
list, but I'm curious, how do you make these productions that sound so new when it's being inspired by something so old? Because you just have this fresh like feel to it. And I noticed, Cairo, that you're also um marked as a producer on it. Because by the way, the rollout of the album or the EP was amazing. People don't tell you. I really think you guys did a great job rolling out on IG with the visuals and the credits and everything.
Thank you.
So no, yeah,
Thank
Thanks,
you.
bro.
props for that. But yeah, so tell me, like, how do you do that? How do you make it feel fresh?
I listen to a lot of new shit too, like a
Mm,
lot of different shit, a lot of rap stuff and stuff. Like when I'm not like when I'm just like in my own time, and then sort of like I guess it just like seeps through, and like um yeah, the goal is not to make something that sounds exactly the same anyway as something else. I want it to sound, you know, sound new and sound fresh, like a take and just like have that feeling from the old stuff, but not necessarily sound like it.
mm.
I
And
feel
I
I
think
feel
you
like that's where
guys,
we find our balance. Like, I'll bring in a lot of like older references, and Jordan will always come with like the newer references, and like we kind of we blend the worlds.
that makes perfect sense to me. Like, Yeah, you could definitely see. I think basically you guys accomplished that. You know what I mean? But each song on the project has that feel that it's this inspiration from this, but it feels so relevant. And I kind of want to talk about my favorites personally, and I'm curious what your guys' favorites are. But Can't Live Without You. You know, that's the number one I think for me. Too Much stays on
True.
my mind every
Sick.
day. You know, Too Much is another one. I could say every song, but I had to limit it a little bit. And then I think Nasty is great too. I know I'm like not the target audience for that song, but like it's it's a good song. Um
Thank you, bro.
and yeah, so I just want to know what like each of you what your favorites are and what makes them your favorites. So Genius, if you want to start with that, and then we'll go to you, Cairo.
I think my favorite of the project would be a Hot Minute.
Mm. Why? Tell me
Uh,
why.
um, I just feel like I feel like it's the most different one on the record personally, and I just like the rap. I just like the rap verse and like that that feel. So that's yeah, that's my favorite one right now, but it changes.
It changes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cairo, how about you?
Yeah, mine also changes, but I gotta say Broken Hearted just because like got the chance to work with Jon B. It's like a legend. And then right now I'm like I really enjoy like performing and listening to Sex With You.
Mm. Okay,
So yeah,
cool.
right now it changes week to week, but like right now that's where we're at.
Okay. And speaking of Broken Hearted, I'm sure you always say I've seen it on your IG, I've seen it in interviews that Jon B is basically an inspiration to you. You've gotten that the vocal style and all this and that. So what did it mean to you for that song to just happen? Like I can't imagine how it felt to you know.
And to be honest, like we linked up just talking over a Zoom like this, and like just talking to him and playing him like a bunch of our records. It was just the most surreal moment. We played him that particular joint, Broken Hearted, and like just the way he reacted to it, and like the feeling that we were trying to evoke in that song, even some of the references that he specifically said, like remember him saying this reminds me of like a H-Town joint, which was like what I was listening to specifically at the time I was like making that song. Um, he basically said, "Let me jump on this," and like just 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 the nod of approval and like his acknowledgement of like what we're doing meant everything to me. Like, yeah, it's a big deal for me. Probably one of the biggest deals so far in my career.
Wow, that's so good for you, man. I gotta know how that happened. Like how did that call get started? Like how'd the whole, how'd Jon B get on that Zoom call? Honestly, the
Uh
question.
so so basically like the comparisons have been made for like a few years now. And my former manager who's in the States, I don't know if he knew him or they randomly met up or something. And I think he showed him our music and said, "You guys need to chop it up." And it kind of just happened organically like that.
That's good for you guys, man. That's another great song.
Fate, bro. It
Uh,
was fate.
yeah, literally, literally. And I'm kind of curious now, who are some other artists and producers that are on your bucket list, both of you, to get to work with?
You want to go first, John? Because I'm just going to spit
Uh,
out OGs.
yeah, we talking OGs or we talking anyone right now?
We're talking OGs. We can get to the new ones later, but we're talking OGs.
All right. Fuck. First one would be Dark Child in terms of
Mm,
the producers. Dark
yeah.
Child, Timbaland, and Storch would be the top
Mm,
bucket list right now. Artist wise, I'd love to get him with Mario, Tank, and oh, shit. And I want to see a new song from Genuine, low key.
Cairo, how about you?
I mean, I'm gonna agree with that list for sure. Just to add to it, I'd love to do a joint with Joe. Anyone from 112. Donald Jones, Jagged Edge. I know they just did a joint with Division, but I don't know. I low key think we can make something crazy with them. Yeah, Faith Evans, Monica, any of that caliber artists from like that era, I would be honored to work with. Also in terms of production, like I've seen the list of writers and producers that have been on your guys' channel, man. Some of them I wasn't really familiar with because like they're more low key, but there's a bunch that I love to work with.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you mentioning that. We try to highlight the people who aren't really, you know, known and who have a lot behind the scenes. But I gotta agree with you guys on that Dark Child production. I would love to see that, and so manifest that. Hopefully, one day we can see that, and you know, just everybody you guys
Yes, sir.
listed, man. Everybody you guys listed, like I can see the influences in the music. So it's just, I think that's why we enjoy it so much, and why we had to bring you guys here, because it's just you have this thing that it's bubbling and it's gonna take off. That's how I feel. So I do hope that you guys get to that point to work with all these artists. And I gotta mention Faith Evans again, Cairo, because we did a little poll on our story, and I noticed that you picked that album. I was just curious looking through people, and it was like the best debut album in 1995, and that's when I knew like, okay, like these guys got it, because you're picking Faith Evans, that debut album, and you gotta have something special. You know what
Bro,
I'm saying?
one of my favorites, man. Like I always say it to Jordan, like the day I meet her, bro, I'm gonna like bow down because like she's the queen for real.
Very underrated, one of the top vocalists, my personal top five. I just think she's amazing. So,
I agree. I
but
agree.
back to you guys. I'm actually Genius. It's another question for you. This only came
Yo,
up because we got delayed in the interview. I noticed, Genius, you put something in your story about the stuff that you produced over the last you know, how many years. So I was just checking it out, and I noticed there was a remix for Mario. So just tell me a little bit about how that like happened, or you know, was there anything particular that was special? I'm just curious about it.
the Mario remix. Yeah, that was a few years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was also uh same dude who did the Jon B thing and set that up. And I just got sent the vocals and was like, I just got a chance to work on it, and it was kind of like send whatever you got, and then I decided I'll put it out, and then Mario fucked with it, so that was kind of it. And
Wow,
yeah, I've spoken to him a little bit, but yeah, definitely keen to work on an original for sure.
definitely. So let's go back to Come On In. Um, John Doe is another feature you had. I have to know how that song came together. Nasty. And I also want to know why Nasty was the first song you guys decided to put out for this EP. So let's just focus on why John Doe was the feature first. I'm curious. And then, you know, why it was the first single to be released. So whoever wants to
Uh,
take that one.
he kind of had the song done. I had a third verse on there, and I think Jordan and I were just like both saying this needs a rap verse. And we felt like a female touch would be perfect for it. I think Genius actually suggested Jean Doe, and then yeah,
Yeah, we tried to get initially we wanted Bia on it,
Oh, wow.
um, and then the next thing was like our A&R. We told our A&R that we wanted Jean Doe, and he sent her the record, or sent her team the record, and she vibed and just did it. So there wasn't like a lot of like communication or whatever like between us. It was kind of like we sent a song over and we got the verse back, and then that was kind of the vibe, and then we liked it, so
what
we
happened in
decided
a
to run
week?
with it.
It was like we sent it, we got the verse back in a week, so it was like all real quick as well.
Wow.
And she killed
That's
that
crazy.
shit. Like she,
No, yeah, definitely. They definitely added something to the song. Um, that's crazy that it was that quick too that happened. So you know, I feel like this year has been pretty big for you guys. So congrats on all the accomplishments. But I do want to know what the next. Well, we kind of mentioned that the album's coming. Well, what's the next goals for 2023?
touring. We're going to be out in LA all of February working on the album. So like, yeah, we want to link with the right people when we're out there, obviously. Yeah, just do it bigger and better this coming year, I guess.
Genius, the same goals for you? Do you have anything?
Yeah, make sure we get some of these the people that we spoke about in the studio when we're over in LA. That's the main goal for me. And then I think whatever else happens after that is just gonna happen.
That's the way to live.
Yeah, that's it.
So now I have like 1 or 2 more questions, and we're gonna go into this thing called rapid questions, which is a little segment we've been trying. But I have to know, because obviously we're from the States, we're located in the city, New York. So I had to know this whole Australian R&B scene. I'm not familiar with it, you know. I'm curious what's going on over there. Like, is there a lot of stuff that's sounding this particular way? You guys think you have like you're still your own sound still? I'm just curious.
Just in terms of sound, I don't think many people in the world are doing what we're doing. So like in Australia, not really what we're doing, but there is a lot of dope R&B. In particular, the females, like a lot of females doing it like big right now in Australia.
Got you. And then one more question. You mentioned that you guys were independent between 2020 and 2022. Am I correct? Did you guys get signed in between that, or were you already signed?
Pretty
Yeah,
much
it was
up until this EP. Yeah, we were independent. Yeah.
So how'd
it was
that
like
happen?
in between COVID. It was like in between COVID, I think, when it like happened. It was through an A&R, Charles Burks, that we had been in contact with for like a few years, and I think he was at a different label. I'm not sure where he was at before. I think it might have been Universal or something. And then when he moved over to Red Bull, he sort of just reached out. And I think we had just put out the sequel, and yeah, the talk sort of started happening around that time, like early 2021.
Gotcha. And I'm assuming that this album's gonna be put out through them as well then. Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
All right, so now we're gonna hop into these rapid questions. Nothing crazy. Just we're trying to do a little something fun to end our new segment. So I'll just hop into it. Each one, each one of you guys can have an answer. So I gotta know favorite album. First thing off the top of your head, favorite album.
You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Yeah, Cairo, you can go first, and then Genius you can have it.
And honestly, mine changes from time to time. Like it just depends on the week and whatever. Like right now, I'm like loving the intro album, the first intro album from '93. Like I've been rinsing it all week. But yeah, I guess it just depends on the time, the moment.
Okay. Genius, how about you?
I don't know. I'm gonna struggle to answer that. Like, like favorite. I'm gonna say something that's not gonna be my favorite. But it's the first thing that's gonna come to my mind. I'm gonna go Genuine. First album.
Bachelor.
Yeah.
Now I gotta ask the favorite song on that album. I don't know if that's too hard, but
nah, that's not too hard. Hold on, I'm gonna have to have a look.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that to you.
No, I'm gonna have to have a look real quick.
Cairo, while he's doing that, how about you?
Let Me Be the One. Like I've been obsessed with Kenny Green the last few weeks, just like going through and like finding everything that he wrote or did backing vocals on. Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do anything.
I'll do anything.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm gonna ask you guys favorite Jon B song.
Oh, to be honest, one of my favorite Jon B album is the Stronger Everyday album. It's like from his I
Yeah,
think it's from like 2004.
2004. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that album gets slept on, and like from start to finish, I love every single song. So like that album, which I don't think ever gets talked about in his catalog, I'm just gonna say that album in particular.
Okay. Cairo, you
My,
can. I mean,
my,
Genius, you can go ahead.
mine's Don't Say.
Don't say. Okay. Cairo, I gotta agree with you on that whole album. I think
So
it's
good.
stuck on. Yeah, it's so good. And I gotta say it's funny you mentioned it because I think Tank was a pretty big inspiration
Yeah.
for him on that album and a big part of that album. So kind of all ties in, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. So we mentioned the old school artists, but now I'm curious who are some new school artists that you guys had to want to work with.
Oh, me first.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I
you go.
probably could have did this better,
Honestly,
but
honestly, this year, like my favorite album I gotta say has been Lucky Days. Yeah, I think I like from this year in particular, like I'm a fan now. I'd love to work with him.
mm. Genius, how about you?
There's a lot of new people that I like. But if we're talking just like specifically in the R&B pocket, uh, I've been rinsing Q lately.
Mm,
I don't know if you're familiar with Q
I
Marsden,
am.
I think his name is.
Yeah.
That song Today is like that's like the hottest shit.
He's definitely another one that people are sleeping on right now. So I'm glad you brought him up.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be fucking like proper. Like he's big already, but I feel like he's gonna be proper big in the next like year or so.
Oh yeah, for sure. I gotta make a recommendation. I don't know if you guys have heard of Flow, but
Oh
from
yeah,
the
of course.
UK, man,
Fire. That would be a fire. That would be a fire collab.
I
I
gotta
agree.
see that. I gotta see that happen.
I think who is it that does all the production? I'm having a blank. It'll come to me. Uh,
Well, I'll ask this
what's his
question in
name?
the meantime. Carol is one specifically for you, and then Genius, I got one specific for you as well.
Yeah.
So, an artist, Carol, that you want to write for.
Damn. I'm gonna
These
go
are hard
OG.
questions.
Man, like I always look at these OGs and like I see them performing live and I'm like, damn, they all still got it. Like I'd love to like write something for like any of them. Any of the list that I said, even like I don't know why Genuine's popping in my head. Like I'd love to write a song for Genuine and say that I
Mm,
did that, you know what I mean?
mm, that'd be a
I don't want to
crazy,
give the
crazy.
source to the newer artist because like I'm a newer artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. You got to keep that. You guys got something. You got something with this old school too. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to let, take it away from you.
Sure.
Genius. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir.
Production wise, man, who would you want to produce for?
New or old or all the above?
This number one, man, like a dream, like production.
Ah, shit. Um, there's too many. There's way too many, but I'll have to go. Shit, I don't know. That's a hard question. Fucking, uh, trying to think. Number one,
Hey, plus, come on.
number one would be let's just go Genuine too.
Anyone?
Bring it back from the dead.
I'll take that. I'll take that answer. I think that's really about it. So I really best you guys. I hope the best for the music in 2023. And yeah, man, just keep grinding.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much, man.